My father was a heroin addict for about 20 years. He always stood out from the pack as far as the other kids' parents. You know, he was kind of the big guy with tattoos, and when he got clean and met my mother, they saw an opportunity to give individuals a chance to change. You know, my mom and dad on paper were kind of polar opposites as far as their demeanors. My mom came out to Denver to join the nunnery, ran into a former heroin addict, and the rest is history. My dad would think the program needed to be harder. My mom would think it needed more love, until they finally, came to this conclusion that it needed to have both. I didn't realize just how big of an impact that my mother and father had until I was at my dad's funeral in 2006, and the church was just filled out the doors. Every life that it's touched since then kind of exponentially picks up steam, and the impact just keeps going for generations. I'm very proud to be part of a legacy of recovery.
I was born in Seoul, South Korea in 1982, and I was adopted in 1984. From a very early age, I felt that I was unlovable and unkeepable.
The first time I saw him was in a little picture that the adoption agency gave us, and I fell in love immediately.
I worked really, really hard to promote an image of perfection.
We wondered if that was going to be troublesome for him when he hit teens.
Yeah, he made so many of his decisions based on keeping everybody else around him happy.
I sunk into a pretty dark place for a while, and that's really when kind of the hard drug abuse spiked.
I was actively using heroin, meth, and anything I could get my hands on to make me not have to see myself for what I was at that point in time. When things got bad, I would call my parents and ask them to save me, rescue me, please, I'm gonna die, help me.
We did everything we could to try to stop that, to reverse it.
I'd stay at their house, get clean for a couple days, sleep a couple days, and I'd start doing drugs again. I would steal things from them.
There was a time in my life that I actually said I did not have a daughter anymore.
So if I throw her out for the things she's done, the next call I get, is she gonna be dead? I don't know I didn't know how to do that.
By no means did I ever expect to reach the point of being a homeless heroin addict. The journey to there, just like anything else in life, it happens in stages. It comes one step at a time. That seems to be the path of any drug addict. You don't go from point A to point B overnight. You get there by slowly selling out your morals and your dignity, just one small step at a time to make it through each day. And then by the end of a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're in a place that you never expected to be.
My father taught me to drink to feel better. I was out of control. My son was 6 weeks old. I had left him with a friend of mine to babysit him while I went to court. When I went to court, I was arrested on the spot. And I ended up in front of a judge that had seen me 5 years previous. He told me, if you don't get this together, then I'm gonna have to file 16 to 25 years for being a menace in the society. I didn't want that. I did not want to be in prison for 25 years of my life. So he said, I have an option for you.
In 2011, I entered Stout Street Foundation sick, scared, and broken.
I walked through the doors of Stout Street, scared and not knowing what to expect.
I found out at 11 a.m. I was going to Stout Street, and I was supposed to report there at 3 o'clock. So I didn't have very much time to break to my family that they weren't going to see me for a year and a half.
I had already burned many, many bridges. So a lot of people just kind of disappeared out of my life. So I was alone doing this program.
I understood that I was the cause of the problems in my life. By holding me responsible for myself, Stout Street was the first time anybody really attempted to convince me that I was also the solution to my problems.
First thing I learned at Stout Street was routine. How to basically be an adult. Show up, wake up, be on time, make your bed. Something I had never learned before.
We're gonna strip you down, show you what an adult looks like in our society, and teach you some skills so that you can live the way adults do.
I learned so much about the fact that it was okay to be imperfect and uncomfortable and sad and scared and angry. And these are all things that I never accepted before.
I had awesome people that were around me that were kind of letting me know that we're going to get rid of all of this image that you've been living by.
You can be imperfect and the world will love you and keep you. And more than that, if you can love and keep yourself, you'll be okay.
Having the peer support and the role models and the staff, it was a crucial factor.
As a peer-run facility, I think that's kind of the core of people being able to hold each other accountable.
Nothing else had worked. And now we have Keenan, and Keenan has Keenan, and Keenan remembers who he is at his soul level. And so we're forever grateful.
I learned that failure was something that you could survive and something that was inevitable, and also something that didn't have to define who you were or what you were going to be.
You can have people back in your life when you get your life back together.
One Thanksgiving, my brother told me I don't have a sister anymore. And today he hugs me and tells me he loves me.
You're the driving force behind your own recovery. But I've never seen anybody do it without somebody else reaching out and pointing them in the right direction. That's what Stout Street did for me, yeah.
Because of Stout Street Foundation, I have learned how to live with me.
I have a really good and tempered understanding of what I'm capable of and what's realistic.
I have learned how to tolerate the world that isn't so nice all the time.
Because of Stout Street Foundation, I'm free.
Stout Street has helped so many people within this recovery community, including myself. 1998, I walked into Stout Street as a drug addict. 18 years later, I'm the CEO. 40 years. It's absolutely an incredible feat. I'm very proud to be a part of Stout Street.